Good morning, everyone. I'm going to start back here. I hadn't been starting on the main page because I figured you guys all know how to get to the patterns, but apparently not, because I'm already getting questions as to what app I'm using. I'm not using an app. I am on the website. I'm just at regular, opened up Google, got to the website, pattern-collections.com, and then I go down to pattern focus, which is where I pick my patterns from, and I go down to the day that I want. How far back do I need to go? What have I decided I'm doing? So vain, which is this one. It's been a while. It's been like it's been 3 weeks since I've done any drawing, so wow, long time. And then I just click on the picture and there it is. And so it's not an app, it's just a picture on a web page, just so you know. I'm going to do this one called So Vain, and it's very similar to one I did just before I went on vacation. I noticed that. It's this one. Dowell. Remember that one? It wasn't very long ago that you've seen that. It looks similar, but it's not the same. It's not drawn the same. It's drawn completely different. So we're going to work on that one. So the first thing is to do this sort of a lazy S kind of a shape. Show it tucked up here into the corner, because you're going to do a whole bunch of these, but you'll see how it doesn't matter exactly the shape. So like this one's this way and this one kind of comes this way, right? And they're going in and out and in and out, but when it gets over here, you'll notice that there's a shape that's gone kind of funky here, and a little one here, and a funky one there. So it doesn't have to be all like fish scales. It can be other shapes. Does that make sense? So we can be really free and organic with this particular pattern. And then what we'll do, once we have these shapes in, we will take and make through the middle of that shape, sort of the middle, we're going to make these leaf vein type lines. So like a center one, center stem, and a couple of V-like veins coming out. They don't have to be in exactly the same spot. Leaf-like. And then you're going to color this bit, you're going to make it thicker right here on the edges. Right there, they did a close-up for us. So right in here, we're just going to do around the edges. So it looks like this. That leaf shape right there. Okay, I'm just going to do one full square full. Excuse me. Wow. I'm going to put it on blue. Can you even see the blue paper on the blue paper? I didn't even think about that. Blue on blue, but that's what we're going to do. I'm going to make myself a bit of a border. I think I want to just go ahead and make a dark border. And I want it to be big. So I'm going to make a brush border. I'm just going to use my brush pen. I'm going to make kind of a wobbly, wavy frame for this. Like that. I feel like you're too close, too far. I don't know. I played with my camera just a little bit, so things are not quite in the right spot. And it's going to take me a minute to get it just right, adjusting it just like quarter of an inch, not even a quarter of an inch, like 1/8 of an inch. 1 or 2 millimeters just makes a big, huge difference as to where on the page my my head. Can't talk. Where on the page my picture is. I'm going to turn off my heater. I don't want to hear all that noise. Okay. So I'm just going to start, actually I'm going to start kind of in the middle like that. And then I'm going to decide. Like this. This one's going to come like that. And that. Like that. Something like that. Organic. Make it up. Doesn't have to be anything in particular. Sorry about my sniffles. It is really allergy season here. Holy moly. I'm using a number 1 pen today. In case you ask, because someone's gonna ask. Just like that. Divide it with vein lines. So this is going to look like a pile of leaves. I made that one go the wrong direction. That's okay. So as you know, I was on vacation. We'd taken a wonderful cruise to the Mexican Riviera out of Long Beach on Carnival Splendor. We had a great time. Really enjoyed ourselves. It was something that needed to be done, that's for sure. But I had a really bad allergy attack when I got home. Started the last day on the ship. We'd taken behind the scenes fun tour, or whatever it's called. It's basically a behind the scenes tour where you can go and they show you the stage area with the where the dancers and things do their stuff, the musicians and things, the literally behind the stage. They take you to the galley, and you can see where they make your food. They take you to the bridge, and you get a little tour of the bridge from the captain and a photo with the captain. You get where else do we go? Oh, we go to the engine room. You don't get to go to see the engines themselves. That's too dangerous of an area for passengers to be. But you do get to go into the engine control room and see where they're monitoring all of the different things, and you get to learn about all the fuel that we use and how the water desalination works, and you know, whatever questions you might have on the running of the physical plant of the ship. You get to go to the crew area where you don't get to see anybody's particular crew cabin because, you know, people are living there. That would be rude. But you do get to see their public areas, their crew public areas, which are, you know, the dining hall, the hangout lounge area, the place where they have their swimming pool, out on the deck, the crew deck. We get to see all of those areas, which was kind of cool. Anyway, we got to see all that behind the scenes stuff. And when we went through the area where the crew does their laundry, they have their uniforms are cleaned professionally through the ship's launder. Just like, you know, all of the linens and the sheets and the towels. The crew uniforms go through the ship's laundry. Now their personal clothes that they wear, you know, on their days off, they can either pay to have that laundered, or just like passengers can pay to have laundry done, or they can do it themselves. And most crew, of course, choose to do it themselves on their time off. But that crew laundry area was just teeming with dryer sheet smell. You know, that lovely Bounce or whatever brand dryer sheet that has that really, really strong smell. Well, I'm highly allergic to it. And I could smell it before while we were still on the stairwell going to that area, I could smell the dryer sheets. And it didn't take long. It took maybe 5 minutes. And I was sneezing and my nose was running and I was just miserable for the rest of that tour and for the rest of the day. And luckily it was the last day of our cruise, because I was just, once I get started, I'm a mess. And we were getting closer to home. And turns out when we got home, oh, you know what? I didn't turn my light on. Boy, it's been such a long time since I've drawn. No wonder I can't see. Look at that. That eliminates all those shadows. Duh. Dawn, you weren't thinking. Look at that. I can see better. Sorry, folks. Now you guys can see. Anyway, what was I saying? I got home and we were having a super bloom in Southern California, which you guys I'm sure have all heard of, because there's pictures everywhere of the poppy fields all in bloom, and it's absolutely stunning. It really is. The flowers are gorgeous. However, I can't breathe. I'm a mess. And so it's been that way since we got off the ship. I have doubled down on my allergy medications, and I am doing my best to, I've got my essential oils that I use. I've got my regular allergy medications that I use, but I'm just a little clogged. But anyway, I had a great time on vacation, and if you guys haven't seen it yet, go to H3 Family Vlog and look up, on YouTube, and follow where they, Nick and Brittany, they went and did the scavenger hunt. That was fun. They found, I hid six different tiles, and they found 5 of them. The 6th one, my husband, while he was watching the video, he noticed that where we hid it, it was in the kids' arcade on top of the ducky machine. And the machine right next to that machine was a different machine when we hid the ducks than, hid the tile. It was a different machine next door than the machine that was there when we hid the tile. So we think that a worker found it because they had changed out the machine next door, and so they probably pulled the ducky machine out to unplug, and they probably found it. That's our guess. But all the others were still there. The hardest one for them to find was the one inside the box on deck 10. That was a good place for. But I had taken some of that blue poster putty, and so I stuck a little blob of poster putty on the back of each of the tiles, and we hid things like behind things, stuck them to the behind of some, like in one of the rooms, the one with the jazz, it was like the place where they did the karaoke, with the little jazz guys, pictures of jazz guys all along the walls. We put one behind one of the jazz guys, and we put one on top of a giant playing card statue thing in the casino, and we put one in the the comedy club. That room has sort of decorated in a Moroccan sort of feel. So we stuck one on top of a palm tree up in there. And just all sorts of fun places that we stuck ones. And then what they did is once they found them all, they decided, and if I ever do it again, I will definitely do more, just to have the possibility of them being found by others, you know. But they decided that they were going to put their name. I had put on the back of mine this little sticker. You found my abandoned art. This art's yours to keep or share with another. Draw Tangles with Dawn. And then it's got my YouTube and my Facebook, right? So they can find me. They decided that they were going to put their information. They were going to write it on the back here as well. And they re-hid them. They decided to keep 2 pieces of art, and then the rest of them they hid again somewhere on the ship. So if you are traveling on the Carnival Splendor, upcoming soon, you might be able to find some. I don't know. That'll be kind of fun to see if anybody finds them and then gets in contact with either myself or Nick at the H3 Family Vlog to say, I found your art. But that was kind of fun. And so, you know, usually when I draw on this channel, I usually draw on both sides of the pages, but I've decided to start drawing only on the one side and put the sticker on the other and do a lot more abandoned art. That was a whole lot of fun. See how I'm just sort of rounding those edges on each of those shapes? Just like that. Super simple, but it's really pretty. I want something in here. Something feels like it needs something right there. It's too much. Yeah, there we go. Needed a little something there. So anyway, that was that. We did some excursions. Even though we've been to these ports before several times, when we go to a port where we've been to there before, we always try to take a new or different excursion than we've done before, because you see something different and you experience things in a different way. This time in, let's see, where did we start? We started in, gosh, I've already forgotten the order we did things. That's terrible. It's only been a couple weeks. How can I have forgotten these things already? I'm getting old. Cabo? Yeah. We started in Cabo? Yes. We started in Cabo. No. Yes. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, we started in Cabo. And in Cabo we took the excursion called the Luxury Day Sale. That was awesome. That was absolutely amazing. We went on a, I don't know how many foot it is. Anyway, we went on a luxury sailboat. There were myself, a couple next to us, our friends, that's 6, 8, 10. There were 10 of us. There were 5 couples on this luxury sailboat with 3 crew. There was a captain. There was the guy who was sort of our host, who served us our lunch and our snacks and beverages. He was also in charge of making sure we were safe up on the deck. And then there was a lovely young woman who was the photographer for the company, and she took some absolutely beautiful pictures. And yes, we bought them all. You know, if you're all together as a group, the best deal, and we know this from previous excursions, the best deal is for us to all go in together, and they give us like a package deal with all the pictures on digital, right? So you get a digital package with everything that they took during the day. We could choose from any of the pictures. So if we wanted pictures of the other people who were not in our group, but we liked their picture, we could still take that picture because it didn't matter. We were buying as many pictures as we wanted. Anyway, we were out on the sailboat for the day. I did a pretty good job of keeping myself from getting sunburned. Not everybody in my group did. But we motored over about 45 minutes away from the dock to a beach where we anchored, and anybody who wanted to could swim or snorkel or paddleboard. And that's where they served us. Did they serve us both the snack and the lunch there? No, we had a snack on our motoring over, which was a lovely snack with just some chips, guacamole, fresh salsa, chips, guacamole, really good. And I think some shrimp was on that one. And then when we were at lunch, we had lunch while we were anchored, and they served us just a whole platter full of all sorts of good things. There was, gosh, there was an assortment of things. I can't even remember what they all were. There was again some chips and guacamole, but then there was some chicken, some fish, there was some tuna, there was, I don't remember, shrimps, there was all sorts of things. It was good. It was really good. And then after everyone was done swimming, then they brought out the alcohol, and you could have whatever you wanted as a beverage. They were making whatever you wanted. Margarita, you know, rum punch. Simple stuff. It wasn't, you know, a large variety, but you could have whatever you wanted. And then on the way back to the ship, they hoisted the sails, and we actually sailed. And that was so much fun. I've never been on a sailboat like that before. I've only ever been on a little tiny little sailboat, and we never really caught the wind where we were at an angle. This time we really caught the wind, and we were, let's see, can you see? Okay, so if that's vertical, we were sort of at an angle like that. So we were sitting here, and we were like, yeah, you really had to hang on. Anybody who's been sailing, I'm sure knows that sensation. I've never been, so that was something completely new and different for me. Like I said, the only other sailboat I'd ever been in was with Girl Scouts when I was a wee lass, and we were on a lake that really had no wind. So we didn't exactly catch the sail. And then we sailed for another hour or so back toward the port. That was awesome. That was the first port day. And the second port day we were in Mazatlan. We did a very low-key sort of bus tour thing. Went to this little town about 33 kilometers outside of Mazatlan. Was called El Caliche. I think that was the name. Cute little town. I'm assuming it only has, I don't know, probably less than 500 population. Really small. And they were very gracious there in town. They are working really hard at trying to get their town to be a tourist destination from the cruise ships, get them some income. And so we had this little tour. We saw their church. We saw there was a woman who made homemade ice cream. We had a little sample of that. there was a woman who showed us how to make tortillas. So we could make our own tortillas if we wanted to. And that was attached to this restaurant, and we had lunch. The restaurant was really good, and it was very busy. So this little town has done a really good job of getting, because we weren't the only tour there. So this town has done a really good job of making themselves popular as a destination, which is good. And then we had a little bit of time to do some shopping. They don't have huge markets or anything like that. The lady who has the shop attached to the restaurant, she's an interesting mix of tourist sort of decoration type things and local hardware. She had sort of a hardware shop combination, tourist shop. So my husband did what he calls reverse negotiations. He saw something he wanted, asked how much it was. The tour guide had to interpret for us because we're not so good with the Spanish. We really need to learn some better Spanish, but anyway. And what the price that she said was way less than he expected it to be, like considerably less. So he gave her some money, and then he wouldn't take the change. He told her to keep it. Because it was these really pretty butterfly ceramic pieces, large, that we can put as a decoration in our backyard. And here at home, it would probably be $40 or $50. And they went in like $12 for it. And he wouldn't do it. He paid extra. I think he gave her $15. Not like, you know, he overpaid, that's for sure. Yes, I know that you're supposed to go to Mexico and bargain and so forth and try to get a deal, but you know what? These people in this little town were not, they weren't doing the whole tourist pushy thing. They were just living their lives, and yeah, I thought it was good that my husband did that. So vain. The lady who we bought that stuff from lived right above the restaurant, so that was that. You know, there's a high probability that this poor lady never even leaves, ever leaves her little town. So an extra $3 or $4, no big deal. Okay, I'm gonna do a little. Do I want to highlight and shade? I think I do. I'm gonna shade first. I'm just gonna shade just down the middles of these. Get a little bit of graphite on there. So then the last place we stopped was Puerto Vallarta. We took the tour out to the La Marietas Islands, where they have a bird sanctuary. They stop, they let you snorkel if you want to, a big group. It's on like a big catamaran party boat type thing. And then after you're done swimming, of course, then they break out the booze. That's what they all seem to do. But on that one, we saw whales. More than once, we saw whales. And that was awesome. And not just, I've seen whales before on some of my cruises, but most of the time, they just kind of slowly come out of the water. They breathe, they go back in. No, this time, we had full on, almost an entire body breaching and splashing down. They looked like they were having showing off and having fun, and oh my word, that was so awesome. I managed to get a few pictures, but it's hard to take pictures unless you have a good sport camera or something. I think my friend probably got better pictures than I did. He's got a better camera, but I was so in awe. I was so in awe. That was awesome. And mamas and babies, and we were on this adventure with there was 5 or 6 guys. There was a head guy, and then there was a couple guys who served like as cooks and waiters. Besides the captain, and then there was one who was a naturalist, and so he could tell us, you know, what we were looking at with the birds and with the whales or any other sea creatures we saw. We saw some rays when they were snorkeling. He was in the water with the people who wanted to go in the water. I chose not to go. Yeah, no, that wasn't going to happen. Excuse me. But he was able to tell people, you know, what each type of fish was that they were seeing, and, you know, very informative, fun, and it was just awesome. And then on the way back from, you know, they were joking and making, you know, the head guy, he was joking and making the trip fun. And then on the way back, these guys, they do a little show. My husband said that he'd done this particular trip before, the last time we were there. I didn't go. I chose not to. I didn't want to go snorkeling and stuff. And he says, well, you know, you didn't have to. You could have gone and just sat on the boat. And I didn't know that. I thought you had to go snorkeling, and it's just not my thing. So this time I came, and I'm glad I did. But he said that they did that last time. They did a little show, but it did something different because they were different people. So I guess each group on this particular tour, they have several boats all done from Vallarta Adventures. I guess each crew chooses what they're going to do. So they did sort of a lip sync song and dance thing. Really fun. And they did that on the way back to the ship. So it was a long trip. It was, I think we were gone 5 hours out on the little ship. Look at that. Oh, I just love it when you add the highlights. Somebody had mentioned that their highlight doesn't look as bright and white as mine, and wanted to know what pencil I use. I just use a regular Prismacolor white pencil. It looks much brighter on the camera than it does in real life. It could have to do with the lighting. So I'm going to turn the lighting back down so you can see in real life it looks like that. So in case you say, well, mine never looks like the way Dawn's looks. It's lighting. It's just lighting. Put it under a different light and you will see that it looks different. Anyway, I think I'm done. I've told you my stories. I'll tell you some more stories of what we did and stuff as the week goes. But yeah, it's good to be back. This was a nice easy one to kind of ease in to doing patterns again, because it's like I said, I haven't drawn I literally have not picked up a pen or a pencil in about 20 days. That's a long time. That's a really long time. And I've missed it. I really have. So I'm going to spend today's my day off. Finally I get a day off. Doing something fun. And I will see you guys on the next video. You guys have a great day. Do something nice for someone else today. And enjoy yourself. And I will see you later. Bye-bye.